A new crypto tax law has taken effect in the US here. Okay, transactions that are above 10,000, right? 10,000 or more must be reported to the IRS within 15 days. They've kind of squeezed down on that time. Interesting one. We're going to be talking about this on the show today. Stagnation. One moment here. We'll be right back. Am I supposed to say we'll be right back?
Because we are always back.
Yeah, we are always back. We are always here. We are always here. Okay, as you can see, I attempted to do something different there and it massively failed. But we're not going to edit it. We'll leave it like that so that you can see the fuckery that goes on in the background here. Anyway, Stagnation, welcome back to the channel.
Champions.
You see, it turns out that there is a new crypto law that is taking effect. New crypto law.
Law by enforcement.
Crypto law taking effect. And this is like I think as of January. It says transaction of $10,000 or more must be reported to the IRS within 15 days. So a new tax reporting law. I don't remember this one being discussed, passed through Congress, signed by the president. I mean, was the general public informed of this stuff? What is going on here? Yeah. Anyway, this law entered into force in the US starting on January 1st. All Americans receiving 10,000 or more in crypto in the course of their trade or business must file a report with the Internal Revenue Service within 15 days. If you don't file a report within 15 days of receiving the transaction, you will be found guilty of felony charges.
Felony?
So because you made a transaction, okay, one to the other, all of a sudden you might be locked up with people convicted of murder, shooting others, violent crimes. I mean, let's put it that way. I didn't want to get too graphic with the descriptions there. Fraud and many other things like that.
SBF is not even in jail.
Yes, they're going to derail your life, even though SBF is walking away, because you made a transaction of $10,000 without informing them.
This is getting crazy. Like, we keep telling folks that we are working slaves and folks are not getting it. You work really hard for your money. You invest it in some coin. Maybe you invest it in Bitcoin, right? Which is the ultimate investment. Mm-hmm. But you're not supposed to be trading it. Oh, well, okay, you traded it. It made you some money. You took the money back out. And now you're going to jail for that. Is this even making sense in America right now?
It's not making sense. Let me point out something to you. Have you noticed that all the crypto influencers, crypto channels, Bitcoin, let's call them Bitcoin representatives of sorts. You could look at people like the Real Vision and all of these guys. Yeah. Have you noticed that all of them only live in U.S. territories, but never in the U.S.? It is for tax purposes and avoiding things like this. Okay. At some point in time, it just becomes tiring. At some point in time, it's like,
this is killing innovation, man. This is
beyond killing innovation, brother. This is about criminalizing activities that you have been able to freely engage in. This is taking away your rights. This is unconstitutional, straight up, no two ways about it, no way to twist my words about it. This is unconstitutional. This is literally taking away your freedom to express yourself, because exchanging value is expressing yourself. Okay. Now, let me ask this. If you send Bitcoin from your Coinbase wallet, $11,000, to your self-custody wallet, you send that money to yourself. You have to report it to IRS because there's no way for them to know. But they can say, hey, we saw that you moved $11,000
out of the exchanges.
Yes. And so now you have to go ahead and report it to the IRS yourself.
Oh, shit.
Exactly. So send your money in less than 10,000 at a time, I guess.
Trying to avoid the bank run? Is that what it is?
It is part of trying to avoid the bank run, because if you look at it, what is a bank? Would I say bank run? I would say capital flight, because this is just money exiting the whole economy, and then tax is not getting paid anymore. If you look at capital flight and how somehow some ways that has been enforced is by not allowing people to travel out of the country with cash, right? So if you try to fly with $10,000 or more, they usually, stop you and take that money from you. If you try to extract, more than $10,000 from your account, not even traveling within the United States, you have to now do all these forms. They need to know what you're going to do with the money. Why you
$600 from your Cash App account and that bull
yeah.
crap.
No, I mean even like at the bank. Like say let's say you're there with the teller, right? And you try to withdraw more than 10K.
Yep.
Now you have to explain why is it that you're withdrawing this 10K from your account.
Yep.
Even though it's money that you've already worked for, you've paid taxes on, and it strongly belongs to you.
Yep.
And you can do whatever you want with it. So you can see that this is more suppression of the people.
It's crazy though. How do you create a law that nobody knows about that just all of a sudden come into effect in January? Like, literally, it was not in the news. Nobody knew about this.
Yes.
So that is already disqualification right there.
Yes.
Then what gives the IRS, without going through Department of Justice,
Yes.
without going through the court system,
Yes.
to not call you a felony? IRS.
Yes.
IRS does not have that power.
And that's the insane thing about it, because this is what I think they really bet on. They pass it. They know it's unconstitutional. Have you heard this saying before, that it's better to ask for apology than permission? So they just do it anyway. And so now maybe you guys will have to, and which is what is the case, someone is challenging it now. You're going to go challenge it in court. But while you are challenging it in court, it is being enforced already. And so they will now drag it out in court for years and years and years. How many years has XRP been in court, right? They can drag it out for as long as they can. An individual will never have enough money to keep fighting that type of lawsuit, right? So it's just asinine. It's straight up violation of our rights. And I think at this point in time, it is it must be a real option for everyone to be considering living and going to somewhere where you are treated better. Because it does not make sense to me to be busting my ass here in the US trying to create some sort of business, right, which is only going to be contributing to the economic development of the country. Meanwhile, the same people are trying to stifle any sort of means of progress, trap and oppress all the entrepreneurs, and in this case the individuals as well, who are just trying to invest and make more gains on their money. What does the IRS do for society?
Still, that's all they do.
That is so worth
putting people in jail for, or that contributes to the growth of our society. Because when you look at all these corporations that take their taxes and ship it, and they take their money and ship it offline and avoid taxes, they will not go after those people. And they're not capable of going after those people because those people own them. So the rest of us now are left in a place where we are being subjected to this sort of predatory rules, if you will. I'll tell you guys right now, there is no way that it would make sense for any of us to be staying in the US under this type of situations. I don't think that it is worth it on any level. Look around the world. The rest of the world is moving on. And taxes is not something that is stepping on their necks. Insane. Carry on, Deborah. So apparently, this has been in court since 2022. There's still no answer for it, and this is 2024.
Yeah.
But the IRS is still trying to figure out that this is going to happen. We should know if and when they enforce this. Because people can still move around in decentralized exchanges perfectly fine. But we already know that Uniswap and PancakeSwap is telling on people now it's not as decentralized as people think.
It's not.
Those are all reporting to the federal government now. That's the only reason why they exist. So if all of America, if all retail investors do their transactions, are they going to now put all Americans in jail?
That's the question.
I really think everybody should not even comply. Like, I'm not trying to push revolution here. But what gives them the authority to do this?
Our rights are being violated in this case, man. And it is something that is worth asking. If everybody does not comply, what happens? Are we going to be all felons? Are they going to lock all of us up? Okay, because the approach that they're taking here is unreasonable. They're not trying to come to a table and negotiate these things and discuss these things with the rest of society. They're just more interested in I mean, this is straight up mafia activity, right?
This is so un-American. Like America, put you in jail for transacting.
For transacting. For not reporting that you transacted more than 10K.
Isn't that what America was about?
Yeah.
Profitability in search for self-sovereignty.
Hey, guess what, man?
Isn't that what Wild Wild West was about? California, Texas.
The big corporations are making transactions more than 10K every single day. I don't think that they're being subjected to this sort of
not at all
inconvenient laws, if you will. Okay, this thing says Coin Center is a leading non-profit research and advocacy center focused on public policy issues facing cryptocurrency. The organization has filed a lawsuit against the Treasury Department in June 2022, challenging the constitutionality of this new crypto law. However, Brito emphasized that the case is still in the courts. I find it quite interesting that this case is still in the courts, but at any point in time, they can roll up Sam Bankman's case to the front of the line, right? They can roll up the SEC's case to the front of the line. When it is cases that has some benefits there for them, it can be moved to the front of the line. But in this case, what are they? They're expecting to lock up some people, ruin some people's lives, and then one day they'll be like, oh, well, we're going to pardon you. It's the same thing with marijuana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at all of the people that got
lives destroyed,
their lives wrecked. And then all of a sudden, now you can tax it. And then, we're going to release some of these people and things like that. It's insane. Let's not let it happen again. Here's the thing. The insane thing about this whole situation is that going out to protest, in most cases, will not even work anymore. And personally, I'm interested in effective solutions. And I think everyone has to be interested in effective solutions for themselves first, because we're in a digital world right now, right? And these people are still living in this ancient world where they control and run everything. But being in a digital world, this means that you can be anywhere in the world and you can still make these gains. You can be in Dubai and you will still make these crypto gains, and it's going to be tax-free. 100%. There's a slew of people right now who actually head over to Dubai and work there for, actually a lot of them actually, either they go to work or a lot of them actually go ahead and start a business, because there is that environment is conducive. It's beneficial for business, right? It's easier to start a business in that environment. It's flourishing, and you get minimal taxes, or as far as corporate taxes go. And so they do that for a few years, save all of that money, and then they choose to migrate somewhere else. They move there and they carry on. I was telling about my uncle who was selling some of his company, and he did not want to get paid in US dollars. But up until this year or last year, he's always wanted to do business in US dollars. But this time it was like, no, absolutely not. I'm going to go to Dubai and open up an account there and see. I got to call him, by the way. Anyway, but the point is, there is something else that is happening out there. The rest of the world is moving on, and the US is sitting over here trying to battle this ancient system.
Yeah, but with their own citizens. That's what's sad about it.
That is what is extremely sad about it, right? And so at some point in time, it's like, hey, I don't want to participate in this, man. I don't want to go through a whole suffrage thing just so that we can come out on the other end and say we fought these guys and we won. Use your brain. History tells us something. We don't need to go through the same thing again to learn another lesson. Let us use our brain, man. This is absolutely outrageous. Just do the right thing. It's absolutely insane. I'm telling you guys right now, 100%, I'm going to leave this country if this thing continues like this. That's for sure. That's me. It's up to you what you have to decide for yourself. But for me, financial operation, not my jam.
I think corporations know this. That is why a lot of them are becoming multinational and exiting and keeping their money abroad.
Yeah.
And now left to corporations. Now it's coming for the people. What are the people gonna do?
Middle class is getting annihilated, bro. If you're not in the middle class, people were, if you're still approaching the middle class, man, I think you've probably already gotten destroyed at this point in time.
We see it all over X all the time. People complaining about inflation, like literally.
Yeah, they cannot afford anything, right?
No.
And then they hit them with another tax, right? Because yes, those people might not be able to do $10,000 in transaction at once, but they can buy sugary drinks, and they're catching them over there as well. Taxes on sugary drinks. So you cannot win. You're being continuously being
Squeezed.
yeah, right. They're continuously flanking all of us
Mm-hmm.
and exploiting our value. Okay, because the taxes is let me slow down. You work before your paycheck comes to you, you get taxed. Okay, in multiple ways. Then of course everybody has to file tax again, right? At the beginning of the year, like
Mm-hmm.
April or something.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you purchase is taxed, and then they start increasing the taxes on those. If you take the money that you've already paid taxes on and you went and put it somewhere so that it can work for you and make some profits, you get taxed on that again. Okay? You put your money in a 401k to save. At the point where you finally retire and get out, you get taxed on that money again. Okay? So at what point in time?
You die, you get
Yeah,
taxed
you get
again.
taxed, right?
You give birth,
Yeah,
you get taxed.
You get taxed. So, you know, it's at what point in time
Are you
will
free?
you actually be able to overcome the poverty and get to this realization of the dream that you want to be a millionaire, right? Actually realize that dream of becoming a millionaire. Because here's the thing. I will take this and I'll overlay it on Africa. This situation with this continuous taxation that is happening, it is no different from what is killing business in Africa, which is corruption and bribe. You want some paperwork, you have to pay somebody.
Indirect
You
tax.
right? You want to you want to drive down the road, you got to pay the police. Okay,
Tax.
right? It is all these various corrupt things where it is different people asking you for money, and then by the end of it, it does not even make sense to open the business because now you open the business, and then you probably have to pay somebody to run the store. You have to pay somebody to maybe protect the store, things like that. Then people probably show up. They don't even have the money. You cannot even have the disposable income in that economy because people are continuously paying bribe. It's the same thing as continuously paying taxes.
Okay.
And you see the direction of those African nations, right? So why are we expecting that this sort of behavior is going to take America upward?
Nope.
Yeah. Listen, failure is coming down the pipeline, brother.
All the signs are there. That's the sad part.
Yeah. Failure is coming down the pipeline. It's a matter of when people will finally get to that point within their own soul where they make peace with the fact that I'm okay with leaving America, despite the fact that this is a country that I have supported and I stand behind it and I want to see it win. Okay. But now we are here in a place where a bunch of people have hijacked our country. And in many ways, okay, the general public is also to blame for this.
Nobody's fighting or pushing back.
Yeah.
I think many videos ago we said that the U.S. government has been hijacked.
Really has. It has.
And I think it's starting to become very, very plain, especially when you start looking at the, what's his name, list of people and the whole reason or story behind is it Epstein's list of people?
Yeah, that is out there. And
Our government has been hijacked.
And the people on that list are still, roaming at large.
Yep. Our government has been hijacked.
Yeah.
There's no reason this should be going on in America right now.
I believe that the average person that engages in the kind of activities that these people are engaged in, okay, they're labeled sex offender for the rest of their life. There is an app, actually. Do you know there's an app? Which you can pull up? And these people's name and their soul and everything about them will always be there, and it will point out to you where they are.
You know what's funny about that app, though? It also impacts your insurance. Oh, you have too many felonies living around you, so of course your insurance gotta be higher.
Exactly. Yet, okay, we have these people who are clearly engaged in the same thing. The list is out. We all see it. Who is bringing them? Have they not been arrested yet? Right now, okay, U.S. police should be running up and down, arresting people left and right. That's not what we're seeing.
Oh, they're busy chasing aliens in Miami.
So we must really ask ourselves, man, the illusion, what we're living in is just an illusion of America, man. The reality of what is happening is not what was. This country has changed. Personally, okay, I like to, I've spoken to a lot of black people that do not like Texas. And a lot of times when I talk to them, it's just kind of like just surface conversation, but a lot of times they say they don't like Texas because they see it as a racist state. Okay. Yet, if you look at the amount of people that are moving to Texas right now, I think that is sending a different message. Okay. 2, personally, I'd rather live. Let's say that these people are right and Texas is a racist state. Personally, I would rather live in that racist state and then know that I have chosen to live in a racist state.
And I know that you resist because you face forward in your face.
Exactly. Because now I know that you guys don't want me there. I'm not going to go there. But as long as I'm here, you guys are going to leave me alone. Good. Okay. If we are in a corrupt environment where you have to pay for everything, then I know that what I need to do is to align myself with the correct people, grease the correct hands, and I'm going to be where I want to be. There is a path to success in that madness. Okay? I'd rather be there in some African nation. But in this situation, they tell you that you cannot bribe anyone, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. For you, but for those who have the money, it's a different tier of a system.
They do it easily.
Right?
Every day.
So, if you are not aware of that and you really still think that this environment that we're in is a fair environment as it has been sold to us up until now, then you would be blindly working your ass away and getting extorted, and you're never reaching success, and you're angry, frustrated, wondering why you're never making it there. But there are people here clearly in the background shifting the goalposts, changing the rules all the time when you get to the goalpost. Okay? And even more insane, completely, blatantly, in broad daylight.
You know what's funny?
Operating under different rules for themselves.
That is why a lot of people have anxiety. They don't know why, but this is the reason behind your anxiety. You just can't put a name, or you can't point a finger at it.
It's gaslighting. You can never figure it out. It's just there in the air. This is maximum toxicity. It's not good for anyone's brain. It's not good for anyone's mind. Okay, it's not good for anyone's economic well-being, emotional well-being, like you were saying, right? Listen, they still, and mind you, the whole time, okay, they still don't have clear regulations on this thing.
No,
still no clear regulations on this thing. But there's how
want to start sending people to jail.
I mean, and do those people think that we have forgotten what the Constitution is? You guys, is the way to underestimate the general public. For me, that is, unfortunately, for the time being, there is an obligation to comply. There's an obligation to comply. Enforced by who? Who is enforced? Who is?
But IRS is not an enforcing agency, though.
Well, you know, they recently hired 10,000 people.
So they've changed the role of the IRS in the government now?
Well, at this point in time, whoever is taking, anybody can take any role.
They're giving them guns now, too.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, there's no changing it. They're just doing whatever the hell at this point. Because it was not changed. It's not officially known. It's not gone through what would you say? Is it the judicial process?
Yeah, it should go through the judicial process.
Isn't this what we learned? The checks and balances process.
It doesn't look like we have any balances or checks anymore.
No, they just unilaterally just make that decision. I mean, look at the president himself, just now signing things and sending weapons to people. What system are we talking about, man? All they do is sit around and argue and argue and argue and argue and argue. Jesus Christ. Get some freaking work done. All of these people are a waste, man. It's ridiculous. There is no productivity going on in our country right now. There is no progress, no prosperity. What prosperity are we talking about? It's not happening. Not here.
Education system shambles.
Guy.
Road system horrible. Train system, we don't even have a fast train in America.
This is the other thing that is, and the crazy thing about this too is that there is the fact that they're expecting you to snitch on yourself. You know what I mean? I know all the blockchain stuff is there, but obviously they can just trace the wallets and all of that good stuff, which is why they're very against things like Monero and so on and so forth. A solution is going to come out to these things. I mean, the solutions still exist, okay, and there's really nothing that they can do. Okay, and if you've lost your Bitcoin wallet? How are you gonna pay taxes on Bitcoin that you have not sold, that you don't have anymore?
Remember they were trying to introduce is it on gain profit, whatever it's called? Oh, forgotten the terminology.
Oh yeah, unrealized profit.
Yeah,
taxation on unrealized profit.
Yep.
Yeah, that is straight up robbery right there, man. Okay, it's no different from a mafia going, we're here to collect our rent. You go, oh man, I've not done any business this month. That's your problem.
Yep.
Figure it out. I need my money.
Yep.
Okay. The executive director outlined some potential challenges in complying with the new regulations. For example, if a miner or validator receive block rewards in excess of 10,000, whose name, address, and social security number do they report?
T5, for example.
Exactly. So this will be, let's see, in this case, a miner, right? So let's say you're in a mining group.
Yep.
And then you guys mine a coin, and that transaction is now over 10,000.
Yep.
Do they report all of you in that group? They find all of you in that group. And if you're in that group, those people in that group do not have your information, right?
Yep.
So they're now passing over their job to private companies. Like, we need you to go out there and freaking predatorily get people's information and report it to us. If you're an individual, then it's felony straight up. All right. He began, if you engage in an on-chain decentralized exchange of crypto, right?
For crypto,
yeah, crypto for crypto, right?
Yeah.
Of crypto for crypto, and you therefore receive 10,000 in cryptocurrency, who do you report?
Yeah, because again, you've not touched fiat.
Exactly. And by that standard, should you measure whether an amount of a particular cryptocurrency is equivalent to more than 10,000?
More than or less than 10,000, right? Imagine.
Yeah, more than that. So in that case, then, given the price action and such, right? Let's say I sent you 10,000 of Bitcoin, but then by the time it landed in your wallet, it's now 9,000,
Yep.
Something, right? Do you still report that? Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'll say that the solution to this for everybody right now is just don't touch fiat.
Yeah.
Do everything in cryptocurrencies. Exchange value in cryptocurrencies.
That's why I say Satoshi checkmate these people, man. They're still running behind. They are still running way behind. Because at the same time, that transaction, I say, in the same example, right? Okay, I could have sent you 10,000 on a self-custody wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I sent you 10,000. By the time it got to you, it's 9,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now does this mean now that you need to give me your social security number, all that information, so that I can report to the IRS that I sent you that money? How would I send it either? How would I send it as well? Right, and because as we'll go on here, you see there's no form for it actually.
Yep.
All right. So, or I could have sent that 10,000 from a self-custody wallet that was mine into another self-custody wallet that was mine.
So do I report myself?
Is that a taxable transaction? You see what I'm saying?
What if it was a hairdrop and the value went up to $10,000? Do you know where it came from? How do you report that?
Is that a taxable transaction? Especially if you're not touching fiat at all. These stable coins are now on networks like Tron, and you can send the stable coins for super cheap across the globe. Okay. How do these people plan to enforce that part?
Oh, they will tell you it's for national security and they're trying to protect themselves from Hezbollah and all this other stuff. Same agencies or same institutions that they send in fiat to fight their wars for them.
Listen, man. When those guys came over here in 9/11, man, I don't think that it was cryptocurrency that was their agenda.
Boom.
Okay? The social security matters do not come from crypto. It came from certain. We'll not go down that route. So leave it alone. So he also questions: someone makes a donation such as Bitcoin or Ether anonymously to a public address. Who is the recipient of the donor? So you cannot even know if you were to donate money to a certain, like, let's say, like there was the
guy that donated 26 Bitcoins into the Satoshi wallet.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Oh, do you think that's the reason probably why he did it? Just so that they was like, okay, how are you gonna
come
tax
after
me
me
now?
now?
Yeah, tax me.
Go and put Satoshi in jail.
Exactly. Right. Satoshi just received 10K in payment. Or maybe there's there was a situation with a school in Africa where you could scan this Bitcoin code on their website to pay for the school's electricity.
Mm-hmm.
If you send that school $10,000 now, how do you get the information? Those foreign entities do not have social security numbers. They're not operating within the U.S. system. How do they enforce that one? Okay. A lot of it is also looking very stupid. What really infuriates me about this is just the unnecessary stress, turmoil, and damage to people's lives that it will cause over something that does not need to be the case. This is why I'm seriously saying, like, I'm thinking I would rather be outside of this country until they get their shit together, and then I'll come back. Okay.
So unlike physical cash transaction, FinCEN has no authority to collect reports concerning cryptocurrency transactions, so no one cannot be required to send a Form A300 there.
Exactly.
We'll give FinCEN the authority.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. These people are just rogue now. They're just doing whatever they want. They are just doing whatever they want. And the crazy thing about it is that these reckless choices that they are making here can land you in prison.
To me, I really think that banks finally figured that retail investors are catching on. And you're just, as a retail investor, you're supposed to stay a slave and you're not allowed to. So they're the one that write those regulations for these agencies.
Right.
You know, all the lobbying and crap that they do.
Absolutely.
Keep them down, keep them low, get them back in the offices. You know, all this commercial real estate is about to crash because nobody's in the office since COVID. Get them back there, get them sitting in traffic.
Right.
Forget damaging the environment. Sit 2 hours in traffic, sit in those cubicles for 8 hours, go back home, don't understand shit, get taxed. This is what this is.
That's exactly what it is. And I wonder if they keep making situations worse so that people have to keep working harder so they don't have time to go and freaking actually learn these things. But remember, that is why STAKK is here. Because we are here to speed up your education of blockchain technology, Bitcoin especially. And if you're interested in finding the best entry and exit points, some might call it trading, we also teach you technical analysis. So please shoot us an email, stackfin@outlook.com, okay, if you're interested in learning more about our coaching program, okay, many different ones. We also partnered up with our friends at BK Crypto. We'll be launching that website very shortly here so that people can go in. Mind you, let me explain something. All of this crypto information is out there and it is free. So it's not really that we are charging you to teach you information that you cannot go and find yourself. But we'll have to definitely charge for our time. Okay? Because we've also done this thing for free for so long.
Yep.
And at some point in time, you start becoming disappointed with the fact that you're giving people free information on something.
And they don't show up.
And they spit in your face. So we're not doing free shit no more.
Time is money.
Yes, time is money.
Tell them Bitcoin.
At the same time, okay, if you don't want to pay for it, we understand not everybody can afford to pay for these things. Definitely spend time on the internet learning these things and understanding these technologies, because it does not seem to me that this will be going away anytime soon. Okay? But the benefit that you get by engaging with us to give you the information is that you get to take the shortcut. You don't need to go and learn everything. We had to do that ourselves. Right?
We've done the hard work for you guys.
We had to go and lose a bunch of our money. We had to go get rock pulled, etc., etc. So the idea is you get to meet with people who have kind of run through the space. We give you the relevant information that you need and get you going on your way. Essentially bringing you up to speed in a very short time versus wasting 4 years getting rock pulled, right, while regulations are running and leaving you behind. Okay, it seems that we are at a very critical point where it is important to just get right to the point when it comes to using or engaging the blockchain space.
Especially if you've been wasting your time following CNBC and Fox News and CNN.
Yeah, exactly.
Time to get caught up.
Kramer and such. Listen, our websites will be up shortly. Please be patient with us. But in the meantime, like I said, let me make sure I'm getting this email correctly, by the way.
It's info@STAKK.com.
Is it? Well, we have this other one here.
STAKKcrypto@gmail.com.
No, not the STAKK@gmail.com. That one is too loose. I have it when you're doing some. I have it the STAKKfin@outlook.com.
Yes.
We have STAKKfin@outlook.com as well. Yeah. So STAKKfin@outlook.com, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we would like to make sure that everybody who is interested, who does not want to continuously get financially oppressed, because as you can see, this thing is moving in one direction and they're only cranking it up. If you're interested in taking control of your own financial future, your financial sovereignty, let's talk about it. Okay. Let's move on here then. Here is one thing that is interesting about this whole situation. If you have an NFT, non-fungible token, as an artist, right? What happens then if your NFT goes above a certain amount? Someone pays for it and then later on the thing sinks. It says if I'm an NFT artist, it will also cover me even if I don't have an incorporated business. So for the average person, you create an NFT. Someone thought it was valuable and then they pay you for that. You know, this is called freelance, right? You should be able to receive that money because I think I think there's a threshold for when you start getting taxed. It's like 40K or was it 30K or whatever it was. But in this case, you're now also captured in this situation. So maybe this could have been something that you found to be a way to get out. And this is what I also think is scary about this. They're telling you need to report it. When you report it, then what happens after that? At what rate are you going to be getting taxed? Because it seems that there's a lot of things that are still left loose, and then they will decide after you have complied to it. You can show it up and they will like, in this case, since it was not under the regulations at the time, we're going to tax you at 90% or whatever the case might be. What are you going to do about it? Double up.
It's like speed limit is 55 miles per hour. You go 60 and you go report yourself for going 60 miles per hour. Tough shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Hey, officer, I'm here going 65 miles per hour. How about you give me a ticket?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's it. And it is just, it's such a disappointment. It's such a disappointment, America. This is not where I imagined America was going to be. Okay.
You know what's funny about that example that I just gave you?
What is that?
If you were speeding on the highway, a security officer, or sometimes in many cases a local officer in that jurisdiction might not have the authority to stop you on a highway because it's a federal road. So it's the state police that has the authority to stop you there. A police officer from another jurisdiction, even though there's a police officer, cannot go and stop you in another state. This is exactly what's going on here.
It is exactly what is going on here. It's so insane. Imagine a police officer from another state stops you in that jurisdiction, okay?
And then calls another police from that jurisdiction.
Then call another police from that jurisdiction to show up.
It's still not going to fly in court.
But check this out. He pulls you over on a road that has no speed limit. Let's say it's brand new, right? They're still planning to put a speed limit there. He pulls you over for doing like whatever, right? And then calls that other officer, and then the other officer shows up and goes, you know what? Let's make the speed limit 25. The speed limit is now 25. Since we have seen you speeding, okay? Because the speed limit on that road, maybe the official speed limit was going to be like 60. And then maybe they caught you doing, 70 or something like that. And then you'll be like, okay, I'm doing 10 over. But then there's no speed limit. And then a new officer comes through and goes, actually, you know what? Let's make it 10 miles an hour. Now you're going to jail.
That's what that is.
This is disappointing, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, it's also infuriating. I'm truly disappointed in the...
in America, like right now, it's all, are you going to blame Treasury for this? Are you going to blame IRS for this? Like, how did this even fly?
Yeah, and when we say America, we just mean these government institutions and the people that are in it and the people that are supposed to be ensuring America's prosperity. Okay, because at the same time, all of this stuff that they're doing, it's against the American people. It's also un-American. So we cannot even... Yeah. We hope this changes course. It's disappointing. It's not because that these people are going to win with this thing, because Bitcoin is still operating in the way that it is. It's still global. It is winning. It is the laziness of the people, the lack of information, the absence of participating in your own judicial system. You instead want to be on TikTok. That is driving this thing in this direction. It's just that simple.
Yeah. Come on TikTok and start talking about this crap instead of actually preventing this crap from happening.
Huh? Then when some when a grossly unfair situation happens in your face, you all want to go and stand and protest and knock down businesses. That is bullshit, man. Going and wrecking businesses is not doing anything for anyone.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
Getting on the street protesting is not fixing any problem either.
Yeah. I remember back when, there was some protests and things like that. And someone was like, this is back when I had the gym. And someone was like, well, if they come and break your business, then, insurance will cover it. My guy, do you know how much insurance costs? Insurance does not even want to cover you to begin with.
Insurance.
Because you're in a fitness business and they don't want
Every single person in there is a risk.
So for you to even get covered now, you have to go toe to toe with insurance, and you don't have the money to do that when you're struggling to just make your business survive.
Yep.
So essentially, they take the people and turn them on their own people, and then now everybody now, because if at that time, right, when I had the gym, if a bunch of rioters came and freaking wrecked that gym and everything like that, that would have not put me in any situation where it was beneficial for me. That would have only moved me down the financial ladder, because there's no guarantee I was going to be able to recover from that type of stuff. So I think people kind of always take this loose look to this kind of situations with the protests and everything. We don't need to be protesting anything, man. We need to be directly demanding what we want, and for these people to cut the bullshit.
Get involved in your local governance.
Okay. What else do you want to add to this one, Double Up?
Yeah, I'm just pissed. Allow me to be pissed for a little bit, man.
It's okay, brother. It's okay, man. You know what I mean? You just take some deep breaths. Deep breaths. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this video, you probably want to take a deep breath yourself.
Yup.
Because when you wake up tomorrow, your money is going to be worthless.
Your fiat is going to be worthless.
Yeah. And this thing is still going to be there. And there'll be more taxes coming all of our way. All right. Disappointing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like we mentioned before, subscribe to the channel. Engage us on X, STAKK, and of course we're also on Spotify as STAKK. Our classes are also going to be coming out pretty soon. So, we have the classes now. So let your friends know, let your family know. Right? Maybe you don't have the time to sit there and teach them all about it. Michael Saylor has a whole blockchain academy thing. Go and look at all this information for free. So yeah. But the reality also is, we also want to speed up your understanding of these things. So we start making accordingly. That's where we
Talk to people that can speak your language.
Well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, spectacular one. Brazen out.